and welcome to QU All Access. I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Ryan Snyder. In this week's show, we'll get an update on some of Governor Rauner's future plans.
And we'll be looking into a big change to the men's soccer team.
Topping our news this week, the rising costs of college tuition and the competitive job market are causing many students to question whether or not getting a college degree is worth it. According to the New York Federal Reserve, the national student loan debt has reached a staggering total of more than $1 trillion. Even with the growing student loan debt, studies have shown that a college degree is worth the cost. A study done by the Pew Research Center shows that college graduates significantly out-earn those with just a high school diploma. The study found that full-time salary of workers from the ages of 25 to 32 who have a bachelor's degree make roughly $17,000 more than those with just a high school diploma.
My mom got her associates and that was it. She always talked about how she wanted to do more, and I feel like the more education you get and the more money it goes with, I think that's definitely something that whenever you go into a job interview, they look at that as number one, as see how much education you have.
You might have heard your parents say it, I worked my way through college, but is that a feasible option today with rising tuition costs? QU All Access takes a look.
Last week, Schools.com released an article that calculated the wage students would need to earn in order to fully pay for 1 year of college. To be more realistic, it assumes that students put 20% of their earnings towards their education. The study compared public and private colleges and gave examples of schools with varying tuition prices. Gordon State College's tuition is around $3,500 per year, which means that for a student working 40 hours a week, they would need to make about $8.44 per hour, which is about minimum wage. But what about a university with a similar tuition as QU? The average tuition cost for an incoming student is around $37,000. The closest tuition cost on the list is Harvard University, priced at around $44,000 per year. In order to pay for 1 year at Harvard, a student would need to work 40 hours per week at $105.62 per hour. After figuring the calculations, I found that in order to pay for 1 full year at QU, a student would need to earn $88.95 per hour at 40 hours a week. This includes only 20% of each wage going towards your tuition. If 100% of your wage goes toward your tuition, you would need a minimum wage of nearly $18 per hour at 40 hours a week. Although these numbers may seem intimidating, it does not take into account financial aid, loans, transfer students, living off campus, or other factors. We encourage students to visit the financial aid office for more information on scholarships, loans, and other information. 2 students who work on campus shared their thoughts on the article and the importance of working while in school.
Having a job on campus really helps us with credit card bills, car insurance, cell phone, rent, food, because we both don't have on-campus meal plans, so it really benefits that way for us.
I think it does help you appreciate the scholarships, the financial aid, everything like that a lot more. It also is very frustrating to see how unrealistic it would be to work and pay your way through college, especially at a university like Quincy.
For students looking for on-campus work, the Career Services Department sends out emails and posts about available positions in the Student Success Center.
As you explore more about your career, internships are essential to advancing in your field. While searching for internships, students often come across the question whether or not to accept a paid or unpaid internship. Candidates often lean towards paid internships, but unpaid internships can be just as rewarding, and students should not be quick to rule them out.
Some view it as it shows that you're being eager if you go for an unpaid internship, but in most cases, if a company really wants you to work for them, they'll find some money, whether it's a small stipend or maybe they will pay for your academic credit or something like that, that they would make it worthwhile for you to be there working for them and adding to their company goals and projects and such.
Derek, what are we doing out here today?
Some QU students found themselves in the middle of traffic last week, but don't worry, it was all for a good cause. QU All Access reporter Adam Longo has more on the Delta Tau Delta's fundraiser.
Derek, what are we doing out here today?
So we are a Delta Tau Delta fraternity here on campus. We're raising money for our philanthropy, which is a Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So we're calling it Fill the Wagon. So we're trying to fill, our wagons at the intersections up with as much money and spare change as we can for the cause.
Okay, so after you're done collecting all the money, where are you going to donate it to?
It's all going to JDRF. So everything we raise will go down to there.
And that's Juvenile
Diabetes Research Foundation.
Awesome. Where else are you doing this throughout the city?
So we've got 18th and Chestnut here, and then we're also at 18th and State down by TCBY.
Okay, awesome. How long have you been doing it today, and when will you go till?
We started at 10 and we'll go till 4. So we're already, I don't know what time it is now, right about 1 o'clock, and we've already raised at this intersection close to $600. So we're doing really well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting close. Our goal is right around 1,000, so I think we'll hit that pretty easily.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, we thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Together, both intersections raised a total of more than $4,000, exceeding the original goal of $1,000.
QU Media is turning to one of the oldest mass mediums to give students a new form of entertainment. Hawk Radio is Quincy University's new online radio station run by communication students. The station will officially launch on November 13th and feature popular music and original student and faculty programming. Station manager T.C. Purcell is excited about what the station has to offer.
Playing today's hot music, cool music, we're going to be having original student-created content like radio shows, sportscasts, music review shows. I think we're even going to have some comedy shows.
Students can log on to hawkradio.com or download the Live 365 app on their phone to tune in to Hawk Radio. Coming up on QU All Access, we'll take a look at Governor Rauner's plans for the Illinois budget.
And how new technology isn't just a thing of the future. Stay with us.
Yes. Growing up, I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Welcome back. Last week, QU All Access told you about budget problems in Illinois and Governor Bruce Rauner's visit to Quincy. Governor Rauner discussed changes within the state budget, but almost 5 months into a budget impasse, Illinois leaders still can't agree on a final solution. A number of state agencies such as 911, colleges and universities, even local health departments are having trouble keeping the doors open because of a lack of funding. CNN's Holden Kerwicki has more.
This is unique in my experience, and it is not a good experience.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner vetoed a budget passed by the Democratic leadership in the summer because it featured a $5 billion deficit and required him to raise taxes.
We need to have a budget, but we can't just put a massive tax hike on the people of Illinois and think that we're going to solve this problem. That will not solve our problem. We have got to get a true balanced budget.
While Rauner says he's willing to work with the opposition, he's focused on his turnaround agenda.
What we need to focus on is workers' comp reform, tort reform, property tax relief, term limits on elected officials, and redistricting reform. That's what we're pushing.
During the impasse, court orders mandating state employee pay have cost taxpayers $8.5 billion, according to Illinois Comptroller Leslie Munger. That has local leaders calling for compromise.
Both sides must give. If they don't, the ship of state of Illinois is going to sink like the Titanic.
Barring a special legislative session, Illinois lawmakers are running out of time to get a deal done this year. November 10th is the last scheduled meeting of the General Assembly. Governor Rauner says he doesn't expect a budget to be passed until after January 1st. To view the session, Sarah Valkamp went and taped it last week. It will be available on our Facebook page at QUTVFacebook.com.
Governor Rauner isn't the only one with political hopes for the future. Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders tweeted a picture of himself with Back to the Future star Christopher Lloyd. In the caption, Sanders asked, quote, "Tell me, future boy, who's the president of the United States in 2017? In quotations below, the caption answered, Bernie Sanders. The tweet came in honor of Back to the Future Day, October 21st, which celebrated the exact day Emmett Brown arrived in the future. Back to the Future Day was also brought the debut of the long-awaited self-lacing sneakers known as the Nike Mags. They were finally introduced amid hoopla that felt almost like a car show. CNN's Jenny Moose reports on the sneakers with that hum.
Cars, nice wheels, and self-lacing shoes. 2 toys for grown-ups from Back to the Future.
Great Scott!
Though none of them flew, there was a deluge of DeLoreans.
There's the DeLorean. The DeLorean is still cool.
Parked outside New York TV studios.
And the flux capacitor is in full effect.
Let me help Doc Brown get out of that car.
And even parked inside studios.
Is that your car?
No, that's not my car.
But it was Michael J. Fox's self-lacing shoes that would become the breaking news. For all these years, Back to the Future has provided hope for those who think that this is too much trouble. Even Marty McFly was impressed.
Our laces, all right.
The shoes designed by Nike didn't actually lace themselves. It was low-tech movie magic.
There was actually guys under the false floor that pulled the laces from beneath to make them actually tighten up.
26 years later, the dream shoe has come true.
Are those the shoes? These are the Air Mags, the Nike Mags that they tie.
Nike designer and VP Tinker Hatfield sent Michael J. Fox an illustrated letter saying, although the project started as science fiction, we're now proud to turn that fiction into fact. We wanted you to be the first to receive a living pair. They sure sound like they're alive.
They lace up on their own? Yeah, see the tighten?
Nike says the new system senses the wearer's motion. A limited release of Nike Mags will be auctioned off, with proceeds going to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. Nike says there will be further testing. No word on when they might be sold to the general public. Talk about shoes that breathe. Jeannie Mo, CNN, New York.
Along the lines of new technology, a company in Maine that builds special chairs to aid those with serious physical limitations honored a worker with a big surprise. Jana Barnello shows us how the company chose to celebrate one worker paralyzed from the chest down.
It's all about the big projects at How and How Technologies. They're building top secret tanks, trucks to fight wildfires. Brothers Jeff and Mike Howe are always pushing their team to create the next big thing.
Hard work does pay off, but it's hard work.
But the biggest payoff comes from a smaller project, the Rip Chair, an off-road vehicle for someone in a wheelchair.
Hunting, fishing, going out, farming, pretty much anything you can do with an ATV, this machine can do, and quite often more.
The more can best be explained by the guy who sells them.
It's basically the baddest chair that you can buy on earth. It's awesome. I love this thing.
Tony Tulo's been selling Rip Chairs for 2 years now. 9 years ago,
Somebody dropped a tree on my head.
the accident left him paralyzed from the chest down.
I've always grew up on four-wheelers and snowmobiles and everything like that. And then, you know, in an instance, that all gets taken away from you.
Tony Tulo knows everything about the Rip Chair, but he doesn't know this.
Everything on this thing is exactly custom for him.
For the past 4 months, on nights, weekends, and holidays, Tony's co-workers have been secretly building him a Rip Chair. And they're going to give him the $40,000 ride for free.
He's not just an employee, he's a really good friend of ours.
His struggles defined him and changed him, but he changed us.
He has no clue. I hope.
I don't have one yet, but it's almost worth them getting one and me seeing a smile on their face than me actually having one.
We distracted Tony with the help of co-owner Jeff Howe until it was time for the big reveal.
And I know, Tony, that you know a lot about these chairs, and you love these chairs, but you want to turn around for a second? There's one thing you probably don't know.
What?
Keep turning. Do you know what that is right there?
That's a rip chair?
Yeah, that's your rip chair, brother.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
Are you serious?
Yeah. All the guys got together and put their time in and made it. That's for you, man. So we love you, and
thank you so much, man.
Tony Tulo is now one of only 18 people to own a rip chair.
Holy crap, thank you so much. I'm speechless, guys. Thank you so much.
So the only thing left to do is get in and ride.
Now we could give back to him, and you know, I'm kind of speechless about it. I'm just so happy for him. And I'm sure I'm going to end up in the woods with him.
I get on these things and I don't think about my injury at all. I can die a happy man.
But first, Tony Tulo's got plenty of living to do, thanks to his co-workers turned friends, turned family. In Waterboro, Jana Barnello, Fox 23 News.
Coming up, we'll take a look into next week's weather forecast.
And if you're looking for rare emojis, Apple just might have one for you. We'll be right back.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a cute thing. Schedule your visit today.
This week was a bit of a treat for us as we now head into a week of a high of 60 and below degree weather.
Lainey Wade has the latest on our weather forecast. Lainey?
This week is absolutely beautiful. If you can get outside and enjoy it, I definitely recommend it. On Friday, looks like there are some chances for rain, but we're going to have a high of 70. Moving into Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high near 65. And then wrapping up our weekend on Sunday, it's going to be bright and sunny, as you can see, with a high of 64. Looking farther into the week, on Monday, we have a high of 66. Again, the sun's going to stick around. And then on Tuesday, some clouds and showers might roll into the area. Still going to be a high of 66, but make sure you grab your umbrella on your way out the door. But leave it at home on Wednesday because it's going to be partly cloudy with a high near 61. And then Thursday, we're going to go back to being bright and sunny, but the high is only going to reach 56. It's a great week. You can't complain. Mid-60s, it's any fall lover's dream. Get out there and enjoy that beautiful weather. That about wraps it up for this weekly forecast. I'm Lainey Wade. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lainey. Coming up, an off-field move for the Hawks soccer team that will have a big impact on the field.
And Andrew will have the latest sports update. We'll be right back.
Well, my first thought was, you know, Brother Ed has set us up. He's got someone hiding in there. They're getting ready to jump out of the curtain and scare us, but yeah, there was no one else there, and I couldn't explain it. It's just one of those phenomenons.
I've always been a skeptic, and I've always thought that there was a rational explanation for all things like that. But being there when that all happened, we didn't have a rational explanation for why that happened.
There it was. Did you hear it?
Oh my
Can I-
God.
Oh gosh, wait, did you see that?
Welcome back. Big news this week in Hawks sports as the men's soccer team dismisses one of its star players.
And we'll find out how dangerous the rock pile really is. Andrew McCulloch has the latest sports. Andrew?
The men's soccer team will be going forward without one of their top players. Giovanni Dekai, who had a strong 2014 season, helped lead the Hawks to a 21-2-2 record and led the nation with 11 game-winning goals. But this year, Dekai has struggled to find the back of the net. Through 12 games, Dekai only has scored 2 goals, and the Hawks have already dropped more games this year than all of last season. The dismissal came as a result of character issues, according to head coach Mike Carpenter. Carpenter told the Quincy Herald-Whig that, quote, "This was the decision we had to make. We ask all of our players to live up to the standards of the program," close quote. The Hawks finish up the season against Truman State on October 28th. Without Dekai, the Hawks ended a disappointing road trip, first giving up 4 goals to Bellarmine in a 4-1 loss and then failing to score a goal in a 2-0 loss to Southern Indiana. So the Hawks are going to drop now to a record of 8-5-1, losing to Southern Indiana 2-0. Southern Indiana 6-6-2. Taylor Reese 3 shots, Peter Condell 4 shots. So it's not like they didn't have chances, but they were not able to capitalize. So while the men's soccer team has struggled as of late, the women's team remains strong as their season nears its end. After opening the season with a win over #1 ranked Grand Valley State, the Lady Hawks were immediately drawn into the spotlight. After an average 2014 season that saw QU go 8-8-4 and average less than a goal per game, Coach Musso's offense has been much more productive this year. The Lady Hawks are scoring over 2 goals per game, with senior Ashley Burton leading the team with 13 goals. And not to be outdone, the defense is allowing less than 1 goal per game for the 2nd consecutive year. With their sights set on a postseason run, Coach Musso has his team more confident than ever.
Definitely has to go to win the conference tournament. There's no better feeling. This team has the ability to be a top team. When we're playing good soccer, we're one of the best in the country. So we've got to find that stride and run with it.
And with that confidence, the Lady Hawks were able to sweep a pair of road victories in shutout fashion. First, QU defeated top GLVC rival Bellarmine 3-0, and the Lady Hawks followed that up by taking down Southern Indiana 1-0. The lone goal coming from sophomore Natalie Quisenberry, her 2nd of the year. The Lady Hawks now 10-2-3 on the season. When Quincy University finished renovations to QU Stadium, fans could not wait to check it out. But one choice of decor has fans scratching their heads. When presented with an option of placing either rocks or concrete around the field, QU chose to put a literal meaning behind the rock pile. While many fans have asked questions, Athletic Director Marty Bell says that none have complained about the addition of the rocks behind the end zone and on the sideline. Every stadium has certain safety guidelines it must pass for fan and player safety, and the field passes all codes for safety, while the idea for the rocks was simply to create a barrier between the field and the fans. So can fans expect to see rocks surrounding the end zone and sideline for many years to come, or will there be a change?
I talked to Coach Padgett about it in the offseason to see what he thinks, and we're obviously going to continue to evaluate things, but for now there's no plans to do that. If we put concrete in there, I think that's worse.
Rocks on the field tell the story of QU's football season so far. After a 500 start, the Hawks have dropped their last 2 games by a total of 9 points, and Coach Padgett's team couldn't muster up enough offense as they fall to Indianapolis 26-20. QU now falling to 2-4 on the season. Indianapolis, a strong team, 6-1. Nick Lonergan, a good game with 131 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's going to do it for sports this week, but if you can't wait until next week's episode for more Hawks and Lady Hawks action, tune into the Hawks Sports Radio podcast. Andy Martinez and I break down the latest games and upcoming matchups, and you can find that every week on the QUTV Facebook page.
Thanks, Andrew. Coming up, we'll take an exciting look for your new update for your iPhone. Stay with us.
The future of the program is very bright. It's an exciting time on QU campus because we have QUTV. We have a television station where students can experience working as a director, an anchor, a reporter, photographer, doing weather, doing sports. We also have a newspaper where students can report, be photo editors, be executive editors. We've got a lot of opportunity there working on the student newspaper. We also provide students with the opportunity to do magazine articles with heavy research and giving them a little bit more time to expand on articles and do some in-depth investigative work. Moving forward, it's exciting because all of the skills they learn in every avenue will translate into what we have in the future, and web writing and mobile writing and all of our distribution platforms. We have an incredible opportunity to grow the department, to grow the program, and to grow students into excellent journalists.
Welcome back. Your new iPhone has an emoji new facelift.
That's right, Apple is giving its iPhone users a new way to express themselves. The tech company released an update to its mobile operating system Wednesday. It includes more than 150 new emoji characters. There's a burrito, and new happy faces, religious billings, even a giant hunk of cheese. The organization in charge of the emoji standards previously added skin tone options for a number of people emojis. Apple is already planning which emojis to add next year. Early contenders include an avocado and a selfie hand, a tumbler of whiskey, and a shark.
Thank you all for joining us in this week's QU All Access episode. Remember to tune in online on Facebook or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire All Access team, I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Ryan Snyder. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week, Hawks.